Hi, everybody. Today I have a really interesting, tragic story to share with you guys. And I love to share these stories because one, gives the victims a voice, and two, maybe you guys could take something away from these videos so that it could help you if you ever do run into this type of situation. So, this is a very tragic story that happened to a beautiful young girl named Renee in 2013 due to catfishing. So, really interesting and very sad. So, without further ado, I will get into the story with you. So, young 20-year-old Renee Marston, she, on the evening of August 5th of 2013, had a tragic accident. She unalived herself. She jumped from this beautiful cliff out onto the ocean. So that was August 5th, 2013. So earlier that day, she had come home and her mom noticed she looked really upset. Like, she was really upset, but she wasn't crying or anything, but she could tell she was upset. And her mom's like, "Are you all right?" And she's like, "Everything's fine. Don't worry about it." So she's like, "Okay." Her mom let her go upstairs. She went up to her room. And then the mom received a message from her then boyfriend, Braden, who was apparently in prison somewhere that she had met, that her best friend Camilla set her up with. So he texts the mother saying, "Sat out your daughter. She's talking about unliving herself." So her mother goes up to her room, knocks on her door, goes in, sits on the end of the bed with her, and is talking to her. And she's like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And she's like, "Braden just ended things with me. Like, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. We don't have to worry about him anymore." And the mom just wanted to make sure she was okay, like, "Are you sure you're okay?" So she assured her mother she was fine. She was just being dumb at the time, like saying those things. She didn't mean it, whatever. So after her mother felt, comfortable enough, as she left her alone, she went back up to her room to check on Renee. Renee was then getting ready, and her mother was like, "Are you okay? Like, what are you getting ready for? Where are you going?" And she's like, "I'm fine, Mom. Don't worry. I'm good. I'll get over this. We'll get through it. Blah blah blah." And she said that she was gonna go out to eat with her friends from work, and she'll be back. And her mom's like, "Are you gonna be out long?" She's like, "No." And according to Renee's parents, like, anytime she did go out to eat or anything, she would be back by 10. So she wasn't one to stay out late. So she leaves. Her mother was, "Okay, she's fine. She's gonna go eat, whatever." Well, then her mom gets this text from Renee saying, like, "I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. You're my best friend. I love you." And her mother was like concerned a little bit, So the mother drives over to her friend's house and has her friend look at the message. And the friend reads the message and she's like, "No, I think you need to call police or something. That's like not good." And so the mom then calls Camilla, her best friend. It's like, "Hey, have you seen Renee or whatever? Have you talked to her?" And she's like, "No, but she sent me this message saying she's sorry and she loves me, blah, blah, blah." And the mom's like, "She sent me the same message, so come get me." So Camilla's like, "I'll come get you. Don't worry. We'll go and look at places where I know Renee would go." So Camilla comes up with her mom, picks up Renee's mother, drives to a McDonald's. Renee wasn't there. Then Camilla goes over to Braden's sister's house, which is then Renee's boyfriend at the time, his sister's house. And they pull up, and Renee's mom was about to get out. And Camilla was like, "No, her car's not here, and I don't think she lives here anymore." Like, really weird, Why even bring me over here then? And so they go home, couldn't find her, go home. They call police, and police then start investigating and tracking. They end up tracking her phone at that cliff where she was last at. And The police end up finding her car. Okay, so in her car was just a Valentine's Day card from Braden, and her old cell phone was in there. And that was it. And so the parents learned of this, and the police take the car, whatever. And so the parents go out to that beach, and they're walking around. They're calling her daughter's name, everything. Can't find her. Nothing. And so the parents go home because it was getting late. And so as soon as the sun came up the next morning, the parents were back out to that beach just looking for their daughter. The mom comes across these shoes, and she bends down, picks them up, and looks at them, and they're her daughter's shoes. And even on the car that they find, she had wrote in, like, you know, dirt. You know, you write little messages on your car. So on the window it says, "I love you, Braden." And that's what Renee wrote. So as soon as the mother finds the shoes, police had already come back to that same day, and they were like, "Ma'am, you need to set those down. That's considered evidence. You need to leave." So she puts them down. She leaves the scene, whatever. So her remains are never found. Like, they can't find Renee or anything. They learn that she had tossed her cell phone into the water with her, went with her. So her phone was never found, but her old phone was there. So a couple years later, okay, her little brother has the phone, and they can't get into it. Like, even the police, which is strange. The police couldn't even get into this phone, which is weird to me, because I feel like police would be able to, you know, crack that. Well, the little boy, so Renee's brother, his best friend was like, "Hey, I bet I could crack that phone." So he comes over to the house, and they get on the computer, and the parents pay for like $100 to download this thing. They download it, and they break into her phone. So the father starts investigating, like, okay, looking at the messages, and it was weird that Camilla and Braden were the only two people that Renee talked to the most, other than her parents. But the dad found that when Camilla would text her, it'd be all Camilla. Then when Camilla would stop, it'd be Braden. So he thought that was weird. Like, I'm thinking that Camilla and Braden go hand in hand. So again, Camilla is the one that set up Renee with Braden, pretending he was in prison and that he had a cell phone, but he wasn't able to talk to her. So Renee has never met this guy, never talked to him on the phone, just believed that he was in prison, and they exchanged messages. So text messages was their entire relationship. She felt head over heels with this dude. And Camilla was just this controlling best friend that got jealous of anything Renee did and was abusive to her. Like, would punch her and do a bunch of stuff. And Renee finally confided in Braden, was like, "I'm going to end this relationship with Camilla. Like, I can't take it anymore." And of course, Braden would defend her and be like, "No, you can't do that, whatever." And so I think that was like the whole thing. Well, so all the information that the dad finds, he gives to police. So they uncover Braden never existed. Like, he never existed. It was Camilla behind it. So Camilla ended up catfishing Renee and broke her down to pieces. Like, her mental state was just not the same. Like, she was totally in love with this guy, and Camilla just broke her down, and it ended in a tragic way. On August 5th of 2013, Renee did jump to her death. And Camilla still to this day faced no charges. Zero. It's not... Now, you can't... If you partake in somebody's unaliving themselves, like, you encourage them to do it, that's a charge. But Camilla, they couldn't find any evidence of that, like, at all. So to this day, no charges or anything. But this goes to show, like, you guys need to be really careful with who you talk to and everything like that. And if you do have a controlling best friend and things are weird, like, just get out of it. And make sure you check, okay? Because when her friend went out on a holiday, like, for a month into the States, because they were in Australia, Braden wouldn't text because he was on a parole thing. So check your facts. Anyways, I hope you guys like the story. Subscribe.